To my mother, brothers, and sisters, with whom I survived the monster and my father. Well then, howdy y'all, this is Ethan Bonreal, playing something a little bit different this time around if you can't tell. We are playing a game called Papo Yo, and it looks like we need to figure out where the hell we are. Papo Yo is a game that... it's an interesting game. It's a platformer and a puzzle game, but it also has some really interesting dynamics in it as far as the story. And the game kicks off pretty quick, as you can see. We got a magical person we gotta follow, and that's what we're gonna do. But I think I should probably describe this game a little bit more, because platformer is a pretty broad category. Papo Yo is a game about... Hey. Papo Yo is a game about abuse. And abusive relationships with parents. And then also, it's a game about kind of letting go of some things, but not letting go in the traditional sense, because I think when people say letting go, they often imply that it means getting over something. But in this case, I think the game is more about giving up something, which is a good bit different. Although there's some nuance to it. It's similar, but it's pretty different. And the game kind of shows that pretty beautifully. Although this is a pretty short game, and I think I got this game around Christmas, actually, and I was wowed because it was one of the few games that I saw that had a child of color, or children of color, rather, as the main characters. And the aesthetic is very beautiful, also. This setting is very unique for the type of game it is. This isn't the kind of fantasy realm you see, because as you can tell, probably there's some magic going on here. Definitely, there's some magic afoot. And usually fantasy settings aren't set in places like this. But I guess for now, I should finish telling my story. Basically, I got this game because I liked it. I saw it, I thought it was very pretty to look at in the previews, and I got it. And then as I played it and read about it more, I learned some things, but hey, it's that person. And if you can't tell, the creator of this game is a Brazilian man, and so the language being spoken here is Portuguese, more specifically Brazilian Portuguese. Hey, frogs, get back over here. Come here. And I feel like this is like, if you play this game yourself, you cannot resist, like, rocking up and picking up these frogs, because they're so, like, adorable and juicy looking. Although they're kind of angry looking, they're kind of glaring at us a little bit. So we're gonna put this fella, or fellet, there you go, down, and get on with our magical business. But part of the fantasy aesthetic of this, in my opinion, is it's kind of like an illustration of what a child might imagine in their environment. And I'll talk more about that later, but for now, what we should probably do is look back at where we came from, because we've actually traveled pretty far. I can't remember, we started in that alley that I'm facing right now, and we've already made it out of this area. So we're gonna keep going, and let's see what that person we're following is up to. Huh. And it seems we can never follow them. They always seal us out. But luckily they don't seem that intent on losing us, because they're always waiting to do something. And this is another neat part of the game, is that there are murals all over the place. And apparently the creator of this game got street artists to donate their art for this game, so that's pretty cool. But it's interesting. Hey, there we go. What are you doing now? Huh. But I feel like I'm rambling a bit. She's actually very playful. I actually really like her. We're gonna learn what her name is pretty soon. Well, I don't know when we learn her name. I think we learn it pretty soon. And I kind of didn't even show off what this is. I'm too busy yapping. But this is kind of what I mean by this looks like something a child could imagine in their head. Is that these houses look like little boxes, and so if you pick up these boxes, you can just move them around as you please and use them to get around. Because this game takes just mundane things from the environment and kind of puts it through a more interesting lens, I guess. Although I guess anything can be interesting, but kind of the utility that maybe someone just who's young, who's still excited about their environment, could really imagine themselves. But anyway, our elusive friend is over here, and I feel like the game is going to lag a little bit, because it always lags at this part, yeah, because it tries to load the cutscene that's about to happen. But let's go ahead and do this. Also, the music in this game is really good too, and you're about to see an example of it. There we go. So it looks like we're somewhere new. I kinda wanna be quiet so y'all can hear this music. As you can see, these little houses here have little wind-up keys on them. And if you grab the wind-up keys, they get legs and move, and that's actually really cute. But again, this is another example of something that maybe a kid could imagine. Because it's very silly, and you see these shapes repeatedly, you see these little boxes, but they always do something a little bit different each time. And that's kind of one of the things I like about this game. But right now, we don't really know what the hell's going on, and that's kind of a problem for us. So what we need to figure out is exactly who that girl we're following is, and where we are. And my hope is that I can lead you to maybe see some commentary this game is attempting to make. And if you can't tell, also, this place is based off of where the creator of this game grew up at. And as we'll see, the environment is going to change over time. And our feelings of kind of, when you first play this game, or at least when I first played this game, let's not use, I don't want to be too intimate, I can't say we, because we're not really playing together, it's a let's play, you're kind of just watching me play. When I first played this game, and when you first go through this area, you're kind of dealing with like the wonderment you feel with all of this stuff, and you're getting used to all these dynamics and all of this stuff, and there's always something new. Like even in this area, we're gonna see something new. We're gonna come back and we're gonna see something different. And every time we go somewhere, your eyes are gonna be searching, or my eyes were searching, I apologize, for something different, something that sticks out, so that we can interact with it. And in a lot of ways that reminds me a little bit of my own childhood. I remember where I grew up at, well, I grew up in more than one place, but when I growing up in San Antonio, the area I lived in had a lot of vacant lots, and a few boarded up buildings. I remember a while after the McFrugals closed, and there was some other restaurant. Not a restaurant, it was a retail store, but it was one that also had closed down, and the buildings were all boarded up, and it was slowly becoming more and more covered in graffiti. And I remember thinking, and this was like while I was 8 or 9, that it looked like the buildings could come alive, although that was a pretty common thing for me at that point in time, because I actually legitimately used to be afraid, because my mom is a troll. I used to be afraid that water towers would come alive at night and like walk around on their long spindly legs, and that they would come and get you at night if you if you were misbehaving inside of a store during the day. And they would know if you were a bad child that misbehaved. Oops, I jumped the wrong way. And they would go get you. But that's just general mommery, I guess. But anyway, I guess so that's just kind of how this kind of reaches out to me a little bit, is that I thought I used to just have a lot of daydreams about buildings and stuff, and I think it's partly because I didn't have many friends. I was a really awkward little homosexual child. But anyway, let's go. Looks like we're running out of places to go here. Hey. Is something going on? Oh. So, when we get to certain areas in this game, we run into cutscenes like that are a bit of his memories. Oh, what the heck? What's happening? You are... Oh, I guess I should narrate it, she's talking. Oh, man! She's pretty aggressive. I think the implication with that... I guess I should wait to talk. I guess the implication with what just happened, at least how I read it, and it might be me projecting, is that she drew that magic circle and it forced us to relive a memory that we didn't want to. And then, I don't know why, she switches back and forth between being, like, a friend and foe, kind of. She's like... Forgot about this cutscene. So, I guess we should talk about this thing that's on my back, or this robot, I'd rather. Her name is Lula. There's a beautiful mural accompanying her. And she basically lets us glide a little bit, or hover, rather. And it makes platforming a lot easier in this game to have her. She is really a big help. Let's see, where am I? Where do we go next? I think there is a... Nope. There's not. Let's see. But as I was saying, that girl actually acts kind of... She alternates between being helpful and, like, really aggressive towards us. Ah, there we go. If you point me to the switch, I can open it. Alright, let's try that. Send Lula with the right mouse button, or Q. I also really like his voice, incidentally, you're about to hear it. But with Lula around, once she's introduced into the gameplay, you're able to do a lot of things you couldn't do before by yourself. And I think that's a little bit part of the story's narrative, too. Because everything and everyone in this story is related to the author. And his story of dealing with his relationship with his father. And if you can't remember, we've been here already, and like I promised, we're gonna see something different. And just like that, this building came alive, and all the little buildings are afraid of it, because it's gonna try to eat them. Not really, but they know to get out of the way. And I was really enamored with this part. I actually really liked this, because this did look like... I did think it looked a little bit like a bug or something, or a monster, the way the things were laying out around it. And I'm very glad they decided to do that. Okay. There we go. But, like I was saying, every character in this story has something to do with the author and the lesson they learned and the people in their life, or his life. Well, I guess it's not an author, the game creator. Let's see. Oh, you know what? We need to do. Let's do this. Thank you, Lula. And so, Lula kind of helps us do the things we can't normally do. And my phone just rang. That's a little bit embarrassing. I'm gonna have to edit that out. But it definitely makes this whole weird adventure we're going on a lot less spooky. So things are feeling a little bit less bright here, in my opinion. We're in these tunnel things. We don't really know where we're going. But the environment has gotten a bit darker and it's less open too. We're kind of in the alleyways here. So now what do we do? There we go. And then I guess we use Lula to go higher. There we go. Whoa. Very tense moment. I didn't really know what to say there. But, holy shit. What is that thing? I mean, I guess I don't know why I'm acting like I don't know what it is, but, I mean, gotta keep up that air of suspense for y'all. I think, though, I'm gonna actually cut the video here, because it seems like a good stopping point. This will give y'all time to wonder what the hell is going on with that thing that went in there, and figure out where we're going now. So I'll go ahead and catch y'all later. Thank you for watching, and have a good day or night. Bye.